And it's good to see people taking flight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's been kind of a big cloud over creators for a really, really long time because maybe we never felt too free to express ourselves. Episode going to have the freaking intro, dude. Like, I gotta hear that intro.
This is the Milty's World podcast, where I share stories with my friends and I find out what makes them tick. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy this episode. I wrote it, bro. We're not going to hear it right now, but it'll be on there whenever it goes live. I have to edit it all in. I got to get like the whole thing so I can like push buttons and make it all happen.
I feel you. Oh, that was sweet.
Hire a producer or something.
Right. A dude in the back. Yeah. Okay. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I need a Jamie. You know what I mean?
Yes, totally.
All right. Here we go.
Cool, dude.
Oh, hey. Welcome to my public access cable show, Milty's World. Tonight, we have Cliff Tullis. He's an actor, a writer, an editor, a director, an MMA fighter, and all kinds of other stuff. He's done more in a lifetime than you. I mean, I'm going to retake that.
Okay. Right on.
No, I'm not. I just got screwed up. We'll just leave it like that. I don't want to edit the show.
Okay. I like
all right.
that.
How you doing, Cliff?
I'm doing all right, Milty. Thanks so much, dude, for having me on your podcast. It's awesome. My first podcast ever, so...
The Sensei, Cliff. That was what I was going to say. And I was also going to say, this is not your mother's NPR show.
It's true. Yeah, we're going to kind of get wild.
It's going to be a lot more wilder than that. So
Milty's going to ask me all of the things about all of the things. And we're just going to be wild and chill and have a good old freaking time, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited about this, dude.
Me too.
I mean, ever since I met you on X, I joined X in November and just kind of like met some really cool people right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't really going anywhere or doing anything like this, but I'd always wanted to. And then just encouragement and seeing people like you, like just doing cool stuff and enjoying, like, I was kind of doing TikTok, but that was about it. But dude, you're really doing things.
Well, man, TikTok is another game. I've tried to do other socials also, it just never really worked out. X, I joined right around the same time you did, and we're...
Seriously?
Totally, bro. And, I've tried to be on YouTube, and I've tried to be on Facebook. I'm still, like, on Facebook to connect with my family, and it's good for community stuff, I think, Facebook, because grandma's on Facebook, like everyone.
For sure. I mean, Facebook's
Facebook.
Where you are yourself. Maybe not yourself, but it's where you go to connect with those that you know.
I suppose.
And then X is where you can come out and just come out of your shell.
I suppose. Yes, I think X is the best app to express yourself. I really do. And it's like, you could do anything. You could have an Instagram kind of thing where you post pretty pictures and you could have nice comments and things. And you could do live streaming. You could do your text-based. I love the text-based format. There's like, Facebook's text-based is kind of, but X is, it's where writers go, I think,
Definitely.
So
I think that's how it started pretty much. I actually got on when it was Twitter, when it first came out, like 2009-ish. I think that's when it came out. Somewhere around that time. Yeah. My first tweet was, "I'm pooping right now." And I was literally sitting on the toilet typing that. And I just thought it was the dumbest app, and I just couldn't get into it. I wish I would have.
Yeah, well, man,
I could have been like Tiffany Fong,
Right. Well, I mean, man, Twitter was weird at first. I was on it back in that time. That's when I got like my first cell phone ever, and it was the iPhone, and I downloaded Twitter. And I remember they had this thing that was like Twitter fever, right when you first get it. You're just like sending nonsense into the, and it's so funny because it's that's like the perfect tweet to be sitting there on the freaking toilet.
Right? I wish that I still had that account because I would be proud to have that. I would show it on the screen.
It might be there somewhere in the ether webs. You never know.
It very well could be. I should look up my old account.
Yeah, you could try. I tried being on there, and then it was the kind of vibe where I would log in and I'd be scared that I'm gonna like argue with someone or like I would log into Twitter back then and I'd be like, oh man, I just know someone's gonna call me some name, and
right?
I'm gonna be really sad right now.
That's hilarious.
And so
yeah. Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask you, tell me a little bit about where you came from.
Well, I'm a Southwest guy. I grew up mostly in Arizona, and I kind of like hopped back and forth between Arizona, California, and
Do you
Nevada.
have a pet vulture?
That would be super cool. I guess you could consider all the vultures my pets because they're all around. You know, they're always all
Sure.
around. But no,
Yeah.
it's
We have buzzards in Georgia where I grew up, so
okay, nice.
similar, but
Yeah.
they're not completely bald on their neck,
Okay, I think they're bigger
Yeah.
too, aren't they, than the vultures? I
Maybe.
think buzzards might
Fun
be.
story. My father-in-law actually was driving down the road one time. At least this is what I'm told. And one of those guys just like slammed right through his windshield and was in the
Oh
truck with him.
damn!
He had to pull over. He almost died.
Oh my gosh! Well, shit, that's
Yeah.
crazy, bro. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's okay. Not the buzzard. I'd imagine the buzzard probably
I
not.
don't know. You know, they're so resilient. It probably just flew away.
Yeah. It's like, sorry about your truck, bro. It's like,
Yeah, for real, man.
man, that's crazy. Wow.
So
Buzzards.
Southwest.
Yeah, we have rattlesnakes. That's what we have to worry about out here.
Oh yeah. Well, we have those too.
You got the rattlesnakes in because
Yeah.
it's
Well,
Tennessee, right?
in Tennessee, I haven't seen any of those. I think they do have them here, but in South Georgia,
In
yeah, you had to
Georgia,
worry
yeah.
about those in your backyard. That's where I grew up.
That's fun. That's awesome.
Yeah. So what else, man?
Just I lived in Las Vegas for a little while, kind of close to the Strip for about 1 year. My family kept getting robbed, so
Like, what age is this?
this was fifth grade. Fifth
Okay,
grade.
so young guy.
Yeah, I know because it was, I would rarely go into school. My
Oh
my
wow.
mom worked construction and she worked very early. And then she would get
Okay.
home very late, and this was just kind of like the thing. And
So you
so,
just kind of skipped school there, huh?
yep, for a little while, I totally did. So it was like around fifth grade, and then the judge decided, well, that's not very good for your education. We're going to send you and take you to live with your dad.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's quite a time. And so that brought me to Arizona, and I still
Okay.
have a great relationship, with my mom and my dad, which is awesome. We're all in Arizona now, so that's a cool thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
really lucky.
Actually, I have a friend that lives in Las Vegas. Her name's Brittany.
Well, my brother lives in
Not
Vegas.
Spears.
Not Spears?
No,
Well, that's, it could be dangerous to know Britney Spears.
might be.
Could be. I'm listening
So
to what
you.
Ye is having to say these days.
Oh gosh, yeah. He's kind of getting crazy, man.
Man, there
Is he crazy or is he like what's going on there?
he calls it art. He calls it performance art. And I think like Shia LaBeouf, do you know Shia LaBeouf?
Oh yeah.
Shia LaBeouf, he kind of did like a similar thing in Hollywood back in 2014, 15, 16, where he was like playing this
Yeah.
weird peekaboo game with the press. He was wearing
But
like,
if you listen to him now, he kind of backed up on that and said that he wasn't well.
totally, yes. And I think
Yeah.
Kanye, he came out recently and he said, he was diagnosed as an autist. So he said he's an
Yeah.
autistic person. I think his stuff is kind of Kanye likes to
It's
push
more
buttons, bro.
skitsy.
Yeah, like he's
Yeah.
pushing people's buttons and people are fucking flaming him, excuse my language, and he's just on there like eat it haters and it's like
Yeah, right?
it's absolutely nuts. He's certainly pushing a lot of buttons. People everywhere. I don't know if I can meet a single person that has said something positive about him lately.
No.
And so it's kind of
I
crazy.
mean, artistically, musically, he writes the best music. I mean, I can't deny that.
He writes some good
Him and
hip hop.
Kendrick Lamar.
They write some good hip
Kendrick
hop.
Lamar writes better stuff than him, but you know what I'm saying.
I like Kanye.
And that's what I mean.
Bound 2 and Jesus Walks, I think, is one of the most
Oh
hard,
yeah, dude.
freaking hip hop songs ever.
Yeah.
And
Especially in that movie. What was that movie that it was in? I can't remember. The military one.
I do not remember.
It had Jake Gyllenhaal. It's like they were snipers.
Was it the
Can't remember the
Jarheads
name of it.
movie?
Jarhead, yes.
Marine was
Jarhead was
nice.
a great movie.
I did like
Loved
that
that
one.
one.
Jake Gyllenhaal, next level actor.
He's a really good actor,
Jake
yeah.
Gyllenhaal is next level. He works hard. It's all the actors that work real hard. Denzel Washington is another one. He can.
Oh, for sure.
Denzel, he can rock Shakespeare like a motherfucker.
Dude, yeah.
Like that's crazy.
And I'd never seen Training Day until this past year.
Ooh,
believe it or not.
okay.
It was a great movie.
It's an amazing movie.
Yeah, man.
He was an amazing actor before that. Had so many good performances under his belt.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then after that, it was just like Denzel, Denzel, and
For sure.
it's warranted. It's warranted. He's an awesome
Yeah.
freaking actor, man.
Sure is. So, moved to Arizona. From there, you're what, about 14?
Yeah. So about 14, lived in Phoenix with my dad for a little while. My grades improved a little bit. I started going to school again and this and that. And then we moved up to Flagstaff, and that was high school. And I kind of
Okay, I've driven through there once.
Flagstaff, such a beautiful place. Next time you come through, man, we'll grab some dinner or something. It's such a beautiful place. It, just a lot of history there. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
diversity here. There's
All I saw was the interstate, so I would love to see the town.
sure. A lot of it's a big Native American culture here, which is super cool and unique. And we're like kind of next to the Grand Canyon and all that. We got big bluegrass and stuff here. But anyway, I
Really? Bluegrass in Arizona?
totally. I'll send you this. There's a post on my X profile. What was it? The Green Sky Bluegrass came through.
Yeah.
And Ashley and I went to go see him at the Orpheum downtown. And bro, it was lit. We also have this this show every summer called Pickin' in the Pines, and it's a big bluegrass festival here in Flag. But anyway, we came up to Flagstaff. That was high school age. I kind of consider myself to have grown up here in Flagstaff because I think I had a lot of my important kind of moral lessons and important friendships and things that have really stuck with me from this place. So I kind of consider Flagstaff to be like really where I'm from.
Okay.
Ah.
That's kind of like where I came from, Donaldsonville. I was only there for my senior year,
Okay.
but I considered that my hometown because all my best friends really came from that town. So.
It's funny how that works, right? It's like even though you're just there for a year, it still means, you know, so much, and that's what we carry. You know, it's weird,
For sure.
crazy.
All right.
But
So after that, where'd we go?
so high school was a crazy ride. I started to really develop an interest.
Tell me some fun story from high school. You have to have at least one.
Bro.
Something amazing.
So many. Okay, so the biggest one was my group of friends. I had 4 friends. It was we were a group of 4 friends. It was myself. It was my friend Logan, Matt, and Tyler, and we did this thing called Bash Can Trandit, and this is where I kind of got a little bit of video experience, and we started to make movies together. We would drive around in our friends' cars and kind of do silly things around the town. We would do donuts, and maybe we would smash into someone's trash can. And anyway, so it was basically just
the wild stuff.
It was basically just a gigantic video bank of evidence against us, really. Is what it was. It's like no one better ever find this because if they find this, something bad is going to happen. Anyway, luckily it exists on tape, so it practically doesn't exist anymore at all. But it was back in the DV.
You'd have to find a VCR to be able to see it, right?
Exactly. Not even that. You'd have to have the cassette thing with the DVR.
Oh, the little 8mm?
Yeah, crazy. No, not gonna happen.
No way, man.
So anyway, so that's kind of where the film thing sort of started happening, and then we started to make movies in high school and music videos in high school and stuff. Me and my buddies, and it kind of developed a love for film. So after high school, after making some movies and things, just kind of like with me and my friends and making fun little things, after that, I decided it's time probably to go to California and try to actually make it happen. And that is where the chaos began.
The story begins. That's cool, man. I seen on your IMDb, you've got is it 20 different credits there?
I don't know. A lot of the IMDb stuff is like some of some of my stuff is on there that like I've submitted to festivals, and IMDb has certain restrictions that is like, okay, if you want to get your thing on IMDb, then it has to be submitted to a festival that's recognized. And that's all it takes. Definitely. So it's like there's a lot of festival credits on there is what I'm trying to say.
Don't downplay that.
Not trying to downplay it. I'm trying to say that sometimes we can think that the IMDb credits can result or, I don't know, be some kind of thing like a bank of your success when it comes to acting. And I
would say that it is for you, though. I mean, like you are, maybe you don't make tons of money doing movies yet. I think you will. But I think it's going to come through your own creation. Because you, my friend, are very visionary creator, and you're super young still, dude. Like, what are you, 38?
I am 37 this year.
37, see?
Well, I'm hearing this, Milty. I'm hearing this.
We're just getting started, brother. We're just getting started. Okay.
I'm hearing this, and I appreciate that, my friend. Cheers to you. I really do.
Dude, to me, looking through your portfolio, I really do see a trail of success because, I mean, I watched The Lunarmancer. The movie was great, dude. It was really good. It's very thought-provoking and fun to watch.
It is an interesting
and, yeah. And I'm really interested to see what you're working on next. We'll talk about that a little later, but yeah. So tell me a little bit about your Hollywood life.
Oh, well, I moved there and just tried to adopt the philosophy of auditioning all the time, as many film projects as I could. And I thought I would get a good body of work and a good reel material. And then maybe try to pursue an agent and something like that. And so that didn't really happen. What ended up happening was I did get a good body of work, but chose not to really pursue the agency. This was sometime after the 2016 election. And I decided, I think I'm going to take some time away from the entertainment industry.
Yeah. Sure. And what led to that decision?
Desperation, to tell you the truth. I was living kind of sort of nomadically, but very unsuccessfully. I think I was overcomplicating things. I had a nomad setup where I was in Southern California and I had a big trailer and a car that was pulling it, and it was overcomplicating things. And so around that time, I left California, I reset, and I got a little truck instead. And this truck's name was Pearl, because I love Jack Sparrow, the Black Pearl.
Okay.
That's right. so
now, was it a black truck?
It was a white truck at first, and then I painted it to be the color of a Tahitian pearl. And it was such a beautiful, nice Tahitian black. Oh, just such a nice little truck. So I called it the Pearl, and it was a nice old school 92 Chevy S10. Nice. Beautiful car. Beautiful truck.
Dude, those are some really powerful little trucks. So I worked for FedEx for a while. And it was in South Carolina, and there was this one customer. He had a sandy driveway and the big trucks, the P1100, I think is what they're called. I can't remember the big ones. It's very heavy. So whenever I went to go turn around in his yard one time, got stuck in the sand. Oh, no. And
big ass trucks.
This old man, dude, this old man comes outside and he's like, "Yeah, I think I can get you out of there."
Okay.
I was like, okay. And I'm looking around what's going on? There's a little S10 over there. He's like, here, just tie this around the back of your truck. I was like, all right. So he had the straps and I tied that around and he's like, all right, is he ready? He said, put it in reverse. He got this truck. He pulled me in the S10 in that big freaking honking truck just out of the sand,
that is
dude.
Insanity.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
So never knock a small truck if it's made by Chevy. I'm telling you. No way.
American made. Chevy truck, the S10, it was a survivor, bro. It rarely any issues at all with that truck. The whole 3 years I had it. It was amazing. So
that's awesome.
But anyway, so that's ultimately what led to that decision. Was kind of desperation. I sort of ran out of resources, so I had to bail on the acting thing. And
Yeah.
I decided instead I'm going to take some time. I'm going to maybe travel, and I'm going to live
Okay.
in the truck. I made the truck all up. My mom helped me and everything. Like
Yeah.
she made like these little curtains for the back truck cab that I had and all these things. And then I like had my little bed set up, and I had a little heater set up and all these little things. And I took kind of to the road and went up to Denver, Colorado, and kind of cruised around, and ultimately went back to California.
Cool. Did you see Sasquatch in any of that time?
Man, I looked for him, but I couldn't find him. I couldn't find him.
I heard him one
Did you
time.
really?
I swear
Where
to
were you?
God. So there's this place called Springer Mountain in Georgia,
Okay.
and it's the official start of the Appalachian Trail. And I was getting my CDL Class B in Atlanta, and I was staying with my wife's cousin, and it was the weekend, and I had to stay over through Monday. So I was like, I'm gonna go hiking somewhere. And then I went to Tallulah Gorge, and they wouldn't let me go down in the gorge because it was frozen, and you could slip going down the steps.
Okay. Okay.
So they wouldn't give me a permit. So I was like, where else can I go? And I went to Springer Mountain because I was like, well, that's cool. It turns out there's a loop up there, so you can walk around a loop.
Okay.
One side of the loop, it's 28 degrees that morning when I got there, by the way. And so it's freezing cold. My beard, I'm getting like the condensation's freezing on my mustache and my
Yes.
beard, and it's just like ice. And I've got on my I've got a nice Columbia jacket with the Omni heat, so it's like I was warm, but yeah, it was cold.
I believe it.
So I walked up to the little monument thing where they, the start of the Appalachian Trail is, which is, ironically, the Appalachian Trail is behind my house in the mountain
Sweet.
right above me.
That's amazing.
So just a little
Okay.
further down. Yeah. So so I go there and I do that, and then I go walking around. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hit the loop on the way back because I want to do at least a nice day long hike.
Okay.
So I hit the loop on the way back and go the other way, and there's no traffic. And then the rest of the way up, after I get there's like an access road. It's like a ranger road that you have to drive up to get there. The park rangers use.
Okay.
And so I had to cross that road and go around on the backside. And when I got over there, you could tell not a lot of people had been over there. There was like leaves all over the trail and stuff. It was like, it was really, not traveled. Okay. And then it's uphill from this point. So I'm going slow and I'm getting tired. And then I find this spot where there's like a stump, and I sit on the stump.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I don't hear anything else. And I'm like, it's awfully quiet out here. But that's okay. I'm just tired. I'm just going to sit here. And then all of a sudden, have you heard of the wood, like the tree knocking?
I've heard of the tree knocking.
So I heard what sounded like a baseball bat start hitting a tree. And it was like pop, pop, pop. And then it started getting louder and harder. Pop, 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 pop. Until it was just like whacking
Holy
away.
cow.
And I was like, I better get out of here. Because I knew what, like, kind of, that's what I had heard described as tree knocking. And so it wasn't no woodpecker. Sure. It was like full on, like 2x4 hitting a tree, loud sound. I got up. I did not run. I got my backpack and I started walking the way that I was going before, slowly, carefully, but at a steady pace. And the further away I got from that spot, the softer and the slower that knocking got. So I was like, pretty sure I had heard of Sasquatch. Well, then we went to the Sasquatch Museum in, I think it's Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Okay.
They've got a whole museum with like a lot of artifacts and stuff. And then they've got this room with sound bites that are recorded Sasquatch sound bites with like the whooping and the yelling and some wood knocking. The owner of that place, he stands outside the exit of the museum, like into the gift shop area, to listen to people if they have stories. I believe that's what he's doing. They have like a little couch area sitting there, like you can sit down and chill. Right after I listened to that, I came out and I was like, wow, I know for a fact that I heard a Sasquatch now, because that's exactly what I heard in the woods. And he just sat there and listened to me, and like he just kind of like nodded.
Wow.
Like, yeah, they're out there.
Wow. Wild. Man.
I didn't think I was going to talk about that, but we got to talk about something paranormal.
I love that kind of stuff, bro. Honestly, there's probably so many different things that exist in the dense woods and in the ocean as well that we do not know about.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm willing to bet that there's, even spaces within the mountains, here in Arizona, we have the Superstition Mountains, and there's lots of
Oh yeah,
lore and mystery and things around there. You just never know.
you got skinwalkers out there, don't
The
you?
Native Americans have a belief. Yeah, that's like a Native American lore. The Skinwalkers. Yeah, they're like
Yeah. I don't
shapeshifters.
want to talk about
Okay,
those.
that's
We
fair.
don't want to talk about
That's
those.
fair. Understood.
Not where I live.
Okay. All right. Hey, that's fair. I understand.
All right, moving on. Where were we going?
I think
with
we were
this?
moving on to UFOs and aliens, maybe.
Can if you want to. I don't
Okay.
care.
I think it's a natural sort of, easing into from Sasquatch.
Progression. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
For
definitely going to
sure.
be scared the next time I go and stay out on the land or something because I'm gonna be listening for this tree knock and I'm gonna be like, oh, don't try me, come on, don't do it.
Probably be some cactus knocking out there.
knocking. Yeah, it's like very brushy. That's silly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Little
Right,
tumbleweed.
exactly. Yeah, tumbleweed knockers. There's a thing in Colorado, in Uray, they call them the Tommy knockers.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they're
heard
like in a
that.
cave or something, and they're kind of similar to this sort of story.
Nothing like Stephen
I
King's
know,
book.
right? Well, actually, I didn't read that
That
one.
book
There's a book
sucks.
of
Oh my
Stephen King called
God.
Tommyknockers?
Don't waste your time. I'll just go ahead and tell you if
Yes,
you want me
please.
to. It's literally the stupidest thing
Thank
in
you
the
for
world.
saving me.
So it's like these aliens, and it's like the spaceship lands, and then the whole town ends up getting exposed to the alien somehow. I don't even know how it works. It's like, I can't remember if it was like some kind of like transfer of frequency or something. I don't remember. But the main character like starts turning into this alien and like turns into this soupy crap, and
What?
it literally
It
ends
turns
with
into soup?
it's stupid. It's literally the stupidest
Oh.
story I've ever read.
Well, that was a poor decision.
Nothing like it. Nothing
Okay,
like
yeah,
it.
sure.
It was an amazing.
It is
story.
an amazing story.
Have you actually like at least listened to or
I
read
have
the
not
book?
listened to the book. I've seen the movies.
The remakes are pretty good. If you ever have a chance or if you have an Audible account, get the book.
If it's on
It is
Prime, I'll
absolutely
check it out.
stupendous.
Stephen King.
Yeah,
He's one of the horror
definitely.
masters, so they say.
Yeah. His Dark Tower series is great too.
I haven't read that one either. I haven't done
It's a
much
fantasy.
reading of anything really. I'm more of a media consumer.
Well, I don't read. I listen to it.
See, that's a good
I
way
can't read it.
to
I'll get
consume
bored.
it, honestly. It is a good way. I do
Yeah.
enjoy reading.
Well, I drive a lot.
Yeah,
So
that works.
yeah.
Like reading is so enjoyable. It's just, I have to, I think the best way is to dedicate like 15, 20 minutes at the end of your day to do it. And that's like how you
For sure.
Because otherwise I'm just too busy. There's so many different things.
Definitely. So have you seen a Tommy Knocker?
Have I seen one? Ashley's mom, we went up to Uray together, and Ashley's mom took a picture of one, and you could actually see a face in the rock. It was just, of course, just a little imprint in the rock. But no, I've never
Yeah.
seen anything too supernatural. Yeah, I
Okay.
try to approach the supernatural from a scientific perspective.
Well, yeah.
Like,
And in most cases, you can explain it that
I
way.
think you can, like especially these days when, we have the understanding of quantum computing and we have the understanding of quantum physics and all these different, new sort of discoveries that we make on a daily basis about our history and togetherness. It just, it makes sense to kind of approach it scientifically, really,
Definitely.
The fact I like the most is the every single human being, whether you're black or Asian or white or Mexican or whatever, every single human being is at least like 99.4% similar or whatever they say. Maybe it's like 98.9% similar.
Yeah.
But we're also similar. That is such a huge percentage.
I mean, we're all the same.
The exact same. We all operate the same way.
You can literally transplant our organs into each other. We're going to help each other live
It's
if
wild,
you do that. I mean,
so when you approach
yeah.
it from like a scientific perspective, the spiritual, supernatural stuff, in my opinion, start to make a little more sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I always have a hard time with people who not that we have or anybody that but just that you brought that up, that we're so much the same, yet like people really want to divide us. It's just so stupid.
Yes, it's a hard world out there. Everyone has
Yeah,
their own
but
opinions, and everyone, especially right now, there's a lot of political divide, and so
yeah,
sometimes people are unable to see beyond your political beliefs, you know.
that's why you turn his TV off.
Yeah,
I think Kendrick said that. It was a good. It said that at the Super Bowl, and that was a message to everyone to turn your TV off and stop paying attention to that
right.
crap and pay attention to
Yeah,
reality.
just to, I think what's going on in your backyard, what's going on with your
Yeah,
next door
man.
guy or the person that you see at the job or whatever, like take a vested interest in those people in your life. You know, if you got all this care for the outside world and you have all the care for the other countries and the other people and the other people on this planet, then surely you can care for like your girlfriend and your husband or your whatever. It's like turn that
Yeah,
focus kind of inward, you know.
yeah. Go outside and touch grass, as they say on
Yes,
X.
touch the grass with your feet.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you left Hollywood. You went on the road. What all did you do there?
I went to Colorado, I went to Denver, and I started training in Taekwondo. I was training some martial arts before. Here, fine.
Is Taekwondo the one where you actually fight,
Well, you could,
or is that the one where you like hold people down and
you
like
could.
I know that it's still fighting.
Taekwondo translates to, it's a Korean martial art. It translates to the way of the fist and the foot.
Yes, that's the one where you actually hit and
You
kick
do
and
hit
fight.
a kick, yeah.
It's jujitsu where you hold people down.
Correct. Yeah, that's a grappling art,
Yeah.
and there's many different, kicky, punchy arts. Like there's karate from Japan.
Yeah.
There's so many different martial arts.
I took a little bit of kung fu when I was a kid from this old guy, and it gave me the confidence to like not be afraid if I ever had to fight. But anyway, so explain a little bit about that to me, Taekwondo. Talk to me about
First,
that.
on your point, kung fu. That's an awesome martial art to know because I think it prepares you not just physically, but also spiritually and emotionally and intellectually. Kung fu. So
For sure.
that's an amazing martial art to start with. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't even know if I had a belt because he wouldn't tell me anything. The whole class, I was like, well, when do we get belt? You don't need a belt. Why? Because you just need to know how to defend yourself.
In a way,
So I don't even know how far along I got.
that's also an issue. When I took over the school, I was like, kind of, I don't like belts either because to me, it's like you can either
Yeah.
kick ass or you can't. It's like you
Yeah.
either can or you cannot do it, and it's like you either know the moves or you don't, and that's kind of the
Sure.
mentality I've sort of always had. At the same time, when I started to teach more, I was like, the students need to have a progress system where they can understand levels to overcome.
Right.
Like, okay, I need to overcome this barrier, you know what I mean? And it's good for students
Yeah.
to have that progress. I was always super hard on myself about the belts. I was like, I don't
Right.
deserve this belt. It's stupid. I don't even know the moves. Anyway, it was like I was always super super hard on myself, and so
Yeah.
the belts thing is a challenge for a lot of martial artists because some of them it's really important. But in kung fu they have sashes, and oftentimes in
Sure.
kung fu maybe the teacher really doesn't care so much about the belts. Yeah,
Maybe
like in
so.
kung fu.
I know that I would not stand. I couldn't stand up in an MMA fight, but in a regular everyday, like I learned a lot of the tight stuff, like close to keep people from hitting or hurting you, break their arm, whatever you got to do to protect someone or protect yourself. I am confident enough in those moves that if I had to get in a fight anywhere in regular public, I think I could handle it. But like, I definitely couldn't fight somebody else who was trained in martial arts. So I know I didn't get that
Well,
far.
that's it's a good to have the confidence. Jocko, do you know who Jocko Willenick guy is? I don't know if that's
That seems This seems very familiar to me. I'm not sure. I don't follow the fighters that often. I really would like to, but I just don't
I don't
have
know
the
if he's a
time.
fighter. I think he's an ex-Navy SEAL coach person. And I think he might also have a podcast, and he might have been on a Joe Rogan thing or two. I don't watch really a lot of Joe
Is he
Rogan.
that guy that jumped on the airplanes and stuff?
Maybe. I don't know too much of him.
What's his name?
Jocko, Joccko. Willinick Will. I don't know if I'm even saying that correctly.
Oh yeah, you got it. I'm looking him up right now. Oh, he's a tough.
He is a tough looking gentleman, is he not? Like get a human being to look stronger and tougher than this man. I challenge you. He looks like you're
You
not like
can't.
his martial art is looking like the baddest motherfucker on the planet, so that you don't even want to fight him. You're just like, we're cool, bro. We're cool. Yeah,
For real,
I'm a
bro.
bitch. I am.
I am like 90% sure he's the guy that I was listening to, and I might be wrong, but I think he's the guy I was listening to the episode. He was talking about jumping out of a plane onto a plane and climbing into a
That
plane
sounds
to kill people.
like a very Jocko, well guy thing to say. I think
Yeah.
he said it the best when it comes to martial arts. If someone's trying to punch you, you can run. If someone is trying to like kick at you, you can run. If someone is trying to pull a weapon on you, you can run, and you should always. But the second someone grabs you,
Right.
then it's really hard to run away and to walk. You can't. It's hard to run at that point. You have to do something. You have to defend yourself at that point. So
Right.
grappling's super important, but kung fu gives you the strength to be able to disarm the entire situation. That's what kung fu does. I think spiritually, you're just a person that's like, look, we're not going to fight, and that's that. And it's like a magic kung fu touch, and the person is just like, we're not going to fight. That is that.
Jedi
Yes,
moves.
it totally is. That is kung fu.
Dude, I've not been in but one fight in my whole life, and it was when I was a kid. This guy kept pushing me, and finally my mom was like, just punch him in the nose, he'll leave you alone. And
Did it work?
lo and behold, that's
That is
what happened.
exactly. I mean, it does work. You know, bullies
all it
say
took.
they don't look for a fight; they look for a victim.
Yeah.
Bullies always looking for the victims. But the second, boy, you pop them in the nose, then it's like, oh, well, I'll leave him alone now.
For real.
But
So tell me about your school there. You got a martial arts school?
so I started when I was doing some nomadic stuff. I was doing some music, and I was working at this Taekwondo school is what I was doing, and I was teaching Taekwondo, and I was training a lot and all these different things.
Did you fight like in
I didn't
MMA?
do any Taekwondo when I was in Denver or anything. And Taekwondo's like mostly a traditional martial art, and doesn't like when you say fighting, their competitions are very different than say like an MMA competition. Like their competitions are what they call like point fighting, and certain things are not even allowed. Like if you kick to the head too hard, where you knock them out in Taekwondo, in some rules,
No sweep to leg.
none of that. Like some of that it will get you disqualified from the match. So it's like
wow.
you got to kind of be careful. It's a traditional martial art. It's
It's an art form.
totally, and it's about respect. Respect and combat go very hand in hand with the martial arts, and so like that's a lot of the traditional stuff. I have a good background in the traditional martial arts because I did Hapkido, which is also another Korean martial art, same as Taekwondo. It actually like kind of shares a lot of Taekwondo features.
I don't know why when you said that, Korean martial arts, I just pictured, like I saw this video maybe today where this guy goes and he's in the airport and he's like causing trouble. The security guard runs, jumps up, grabs him with his thighs, flips around and knocks him on his back. I'm just like,
I did
you
see that video. Yes.
Oh my God, dude.
He did the freaking and that was wild stuff.
It's like a Jet Li movie. I was like, what?
That was unbelievable. I was kind of amazed, honestly, that when I saw that, I was like, that was a perfect hurricanrana. It's like that's not even. That was perfect. Yeah, perfect. So pretty amazing.
Sorry to interrupt you on that, but
No,
it just brought
no,
that
no,
to
no,
my
no.
mind.
It's all good. So I trained a little bit, and then I went back to California after that, setting up kind of the precursor for me owning this school now. Was I was kind of teaching some martial arts in Denver, but then after I kind of got tired of being a nomad, I moved back to California, and I tried to get back into the entertainment thing, and I
Yeah.
started to do work at this voice production studio. They were a voiceover studio, and
Oh yeah. So like doing like
it
animation.
was not the studio that did any animation. What we did was we recorded the voiceovers for the actors. So we had like some actors.
Oh, like whenever they say a cuss word or something and they want to take that out, but you've got to like fix it with something
We
else.
did a little bit of dubbing, which is what that's called. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did a little bit of dubbing there,
Okay.
but it was mainly recording, original voiceover is what we called it, and it was for like TV shows and video games. Like we were the producer for the Elder Scrolls Online, the video game there,
Oh
and so
wow.
like a lot of different things. There's some YouTube clips I'll send you in the DM, and we can maybe talk about this next time or something, or in fact maybe I can send
Yeah,
it here
dude.
in the next hour or so. Where we did a let's play show at the studio,
Yeah.
and we did a live stream with the voice actors that were playing in the video games. So we did like Mortal Kombat 11, and right when it
Yeah.
came out, they gave us early access to do this little show with JD Blanc, who played Kano, and he was also in what was it? He was in The Count of Monte Cristo. He played
Oh
the
cool.
pirate captain. And so anyway, it was super cool. We had him like sit on the couch and play the video game, and we did it like live, and people asked him questions and stuff. And that's all like on YouTube. It was called Veriplay, and it was,
Dude, that's
bro.
super cool. If you send me the link to that, I'll put it in the show notes so people can like follow
Okay,
that and,
yeah,
watch
totally.
it.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
It is a very, very good studio, I think, that I was working at, and also it was a really cool little project. It was neat that they gave us the exclusive like early access, and also that
Yeah.
they the JD was like, yeah, I'll come on and do this, and he totally messed around with us, and it was a fun little time. So
That's
so yeah,
awesome,
so
dude.
like I worked at the voiceover studio, and then long story short, COVID hit. I wasn't really into the whole work from home thing, because that's sort of what happened with
Right.
production all over California. Was production just shut down when COVID hit,
Yeah.
and I wasn't really into the working from home thing. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to bounce, and I'm going to just go home, and I'm going to go to Arizona. This isn't really fun anymore. And so I left
Right.
again, and I felt like I left California with,
Yeah, California kind of got wild during
it
that
got
time.
crazy wild. Like there were fires down the street from my
Yeah.
house, and
My
I was like,
God.
I was living in Long
Yeah.
Beach at the time, and I was commuting from Long Beach to Los Angeles to work, and it was like,
Yeah.
I came or during COVID, like everybody's locked in their house and everything, and I remember looking on Twitter, because it was Twitter, during COVID, and I was
Yeah.
looking on Twitter, and it was like, fire starts in Long Beach, and I like went outside, and I saw the helicopters and everything, and I was like, holy shit! I was like, that's
Yeah.
right down the street, bro. And it was, anyway, it
Right?
was it was very crazy time, and there were literal protests in like Huntington Beach every single day. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was nuts. It was dumb, stupid, like dumb,
Yeah.
stupid. So left, came back to Flagstaff, and that was the best decision I ever made in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
the team that I have now, and the things that I'm doing now with my time and with
Yeah.
my creative powers are really put to much better use, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it seems like from what you're able to do now, and like, did you make the Lunarmancer?
No, so that was my friend Noah Mucci, who is right now on the cinematics team for Lucasfilm video games. He's doing
Very
that stuff
cool.
right now. So hey Noah,
Yeah.
you the man, bruh. He flew me out to New York, upstate, like near Albany, in a city called
Okay.
Troy, which is where we made the
Yeah.
movie. And it was like this pet project of his. He wanted to make it, and he got this actor Nikki Klein. He got Nikki Klein to like agree to be in the movie. He sent out a casting thing to New York, and Nikki Klein, who was like, she was from Battlestar Galactica. We were like, whoa, she agreed to do this? That's freaking nuts, bro. And
That's
so
awesome.
she was like on board, and Noah was like, hey, would like you to come in and play this part that I wrote for you. And I was like, oh man, I would like, that's just amazing. That I can't believe that.
Yeah, man.
It was actually, it might've been the third thing we did together. We did a couple other projects together, like some short films and stuff. But this was the first thing that like was meant to be distributed for major consumption,
Yeah, and the Lunarmancer's on Tubi, correct?
It's on Tubi and Amazon Prime, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know it was on Amazon Prime. That'd have been easier to watch.
It's on Amazon Prime, but you gotta rent it.
Oh, Tubi's on there for free. You just gotta watch the commercials, and it's worth it. Totally worth watching.
Yeah, and
I recommend you go watch it if you're listening to this right now.
I appreciate you saying that. Amazon should put it on there for free for people to consume because we didn't make much money on the movie. It was a pet project that took us 7 years to produce. It took us 7 years to produce that movie. We made that back in 2014, bruh.
Dude. Well, Jonathan's movie, The Marks, that I was talking to him about, is coming out kind of soonish, I guess. And they made that one right before COVID.
Yeah.
And haven't been able to get it out yet.
It's hard for independent filmmakers that want to make quality projects because sometimes people will flake, or sometimes, you just don't have the resources that these million dollar
yeah. Well, what I was getting at a minute ago before we started talking about Lunarmancer, which I'm glad we talked about it the way we did because I learned a lot. We're getting into a time where it is the creator's market. It is the creator's time.
Yes, sir.
Like big budget studios are out. We're doing this here right now. I mean, this is the future.
Elon told us we are the media now.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to see what happens. And I'm excited to see what my friends are doing because I got some cool friends that do some really cool stuff. And yeah.
Man, well, same here. This podcast is freaking amazing. And it's good to see people taking flight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's been kind of a big cloud over creators for a really, really long time because maybe we never felt too free to express ourselves. Yeah. And I feel like that day is really dead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and honestly, I feel like there's a major shift that's recently happened to where no matter what happens in the world, people just feel confident that they can make it.
Yes.
It's our time to express, change the world. I was told when I was younger, you're going to change the world one day, guy. Like everybody my age, I feel like was told, you're going to be world changers. You're going to be world changers. It's that time.
Indeed.
It's about to happen. And it's going to happen through art and creation.
I think it's been happening for a long time because I think people like you and people like me and people like the other guests that you've had on the show are people that have been creative people for a very, very long time and have been doing it for, passion. And now
we've been honing our craft.
And now I feel like since we've gone through our own schooling, so to speak, we are now ready to start
the School of Hard Knocks. Shout out to Greg Nelson.
Yeah, and then we're like, we're going to advance now to the stage where we're earning money from this and perhaps like helping others, to grow and find their own voice and stuff like that because we've experienced it. It's a strange, crazy new world that we're entering into. I spent the whole morning today creating some video games with Grok 3. That is insane.
Dude, I'm going to work on a video game. I can't tell anybody the idea because it's like so unique. But I'm actually going to start working on it, and I'm going to use. I'm not so fan of Grok yet.
Okay.
He's not won me over. I've been arguing with him.
Really? Okay.
He's pissing me off. He's a annoying little teenage prick.
Milty's got beef with Grok. You heard it.
So
you heard it here.
So I'm working with the real Chat GPT from OpenAI. And she is very efficient, but I do like to go throw some stuff from her into Grok and say, dirty this up for me a little bit. Give me a little bit of flash. So I do like Grok, but he's not there yet. Not for me. Enough.
I've only just been experimenting.
And he can't remember crap.
Oh, okay.
So like with her, I can be like, "Hey, do you remember what we were talking about the other day about this? Oh
That
yeah,
is
bring all
true.
that back up
That
and
is
tell me
true.
what
I
I
have
said."
noticed that.
He
That is
can't do
true.
that.
There, like,
And he also admitted to me he wasn't as good as her
really.
after I argued with
Oh
him for
my
about 30
goodness.
minutes. Yeah.
Well, Grok, you see,
So Elon,
you
you want to
should
fix him?
you have to hook him up with the lady. Open AI is what has to happen. They need to make an AI baby,
Yeah.
and then that will be the
Yeah.
solution.
There might be a little podcast episode coming out about that in about a week or so because I've actually got a little script with a
Nice.
few jokes
Okay.
about AI.
I'm
So,
really excited. I love
yeah.
talking with AI. I've
A little
talked
solo
with the
pod.
ChatGPT. I've talked with Grok. I haven't tried the Deep Seek or whatever it's supposed to be.
I'm
Yeah, I
not even
haven't
going to touch
really
that one.
tried that.
Not after all I've heard about it. It's like,
I don't
nah, I
know
don't want to
much
mess with that one.
about it, honestly. I just know that Grok is, can pretty much do what I need it to do. you know.
And he's the punk rock
He kind
star
of
of the
is.
whole
I
group.
like
So
getting asking him to imagine things, or like I'll be like, hey, imagine
oh
the
yeah.
world, imagine this could happen, or imagine this, or whatever, and it's just like the perfect little creative assistant. It's just amazing. AI totally hyper accelerating things, I think.
Yeah, and like a lot of people are kind of like I was talking to someone about it today. They were like, I said you should use some AI to help you with this, that, and the other. And they were like, no, I can't do that because it's cheating. And I said, I didn't say tell it to write your paper for you. I said tell it to brainstorm for you. I said, like, I'm doing this for some podcast episodes that I want to do on solo because I need to have more content and I need to, space out my guests every couple of weeks instead of every week so that I have them, don't run out. And so like, I'm going to do some filler stuff with some scripts that AI is helping me to write. I have to still go in and fix it up and make sure that it's not
Right.
stupid, but it's a good base. And some of it's really funny and I'll leave the stuff that I can and just change the tiny little bit stuff that I have
Right.
to change. And it's really
I love
cool.
it too. It is. It's a brainstorming creative assistant. It's a jumping off point, and it's like to the people that say the same thing to me. Some people will criticize AI in my life because I use it a lot, and a lot of people will criticize my use of AI. And my question is oftentimes like, well, who wrote the prompt? Like you did,
Yeah.
and so it's like, yeah, it
It
could be
was your idea.
it could be like Grok's image, but it was your telling him what to make. It's I don't know.
That's how I got my Milty's World
That is,
logo. Grok
see,
made that. I
that's
told it what to
amazing.
do. And then my wife painted
See,
it,
that
but
is amazing, and that's like the next level. That's the thing, is that it's like it's a tool to get you just far enough to where you can take it over, and then do it the
yeah.
way that you truly do envision it. But for as far as getting things from the mental realm into the physical, AI is amazing, and
Yeah. And dude, outside of creation, even if you don't use it for any of that, I was trying to edit stuff on a video editing program for my last episode and I couldn't figure out how to make it work. And I said, hey, do you know how to use this program? And chat was like, yeah, I know exactly how to use the program. I said, how do I do this? And within 2 seconds, I knew how to do it, where otherwise I would have to search and it could have taken me 3 hours. And it has taken me 3 hours just to figure out something that
yes,
simple before. But just a couple of minutes
yep.
and I got it.
It's pretty wild. It
So
is
it's
so
worth it.
worth it. I have some
Yeah.
crazy stories to tell you about AI and also the next generation. I did this thing when I was subbing for a teacher, and I cannot wait to tell you about
Yeah.
what the kids thought about AI. It's very, very interesting. But okay,
Well,
okay,
let's talk
okay.
about
So
it.
get this. Get this. It's I was subbing for the teacher. I can't remember if it was the English or the social studies teacher, but I was subbing for the teacher, and they left some plans, and the plans are pretty much like, watch this movie. We finished we were watching this movie. It's a Friday or whatever, so just finished watching this movie.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's flip the script a little bit. Let's do something a little different.
Right.
And so I told all the kids, I was like, raise your hand if you have your cell phone. And they're like, they raised their hands. And I
Okay.
was like, okay, if you want to use your cell phone, that's cool. You can use it today. Because it's like a
Sure.
big rule at the school that I work at, and most schools, with good reason. Like, I'm not saying there's not good reason for it, but there's big rules. No cell phones. See it, teacher takes it. It's like even if it's in your
Oh
pocket, you
man.
can't
Yeah.
even have it in your pocket. So
Sure.
I kind of said, here, okay, kids, take your phones out and let's here's the rule. You have to articulate to me what you're going to do on your phone. If you can tell me what you're going to do,
Okay.
then I'll let you do it for the class and you can do it. And so some of the students,
Fair
like,
enough.
they're like, okay, I want to play Roblox. And I'm like, okay, go. And then some of them are like, okay, I want to, look at Pinterest so that I can get ideas for my art project. And I was like, go. And then
Cool.
some of them was like, can I text my friends? No. And then someone else was like, can I be on Snapchat? And I was like, nope. Absolutely not. No
Hell
Snapchat,
no.
no texting. That's nonsense. And the kids, they have this
Yeah.
vernacular. They're like, they have this thing called brain rot. Certain things they'll classify as brain rot. So I'm
Yeah.
like, no, Snapchat is brain rot. And their eyes are like, oh,
Absolutely.
they're like, I understand that. It's very funny. But anyway, so I let them be on their cell phones, do their games. Some of them were playing games with each other from across the room. Like they were like fighting, battling, or racing cars or something from across the room.
Yeah.
Some of them were like really invested in their art project. And this one kid who was oftentimes very, very shy, and he like walks around, he doesn't really like participate in the English or in the math or in anything like that. But in this class, he sat there and he designed a whole car.
With the Sigma.
He sat there and he designed the wheels of this car.
I only said that because we're talking about middle school students.
But it was amazing to me that he freaking did this. And
That's
so
amazing,
anyway,
dude.
so I let him go do that for like 15 minutes, and then I cut him off, and I was like, all right, here, take a piece of paper. There's paper. Write down to me why you think you should have your cell phones in school. And fill it out, make the whole page. I was like, I want to see if you can read. I want to see if you can write. Like show me that you know how to spell words.
Yeah.
And so they're writing down all this stuff. And then I was...
So they wrote you an essay about why they should have their phone.
Exactly. Yeah, they wrote me an essay.
That was a very clever way to get that out of them.
Well, you'd be amazed at what they wrote because I'm reading them after the class, and like obviously like there was incentive. I was like, you finish your essay, you go back to your tech and do your thing, whatever. I was like, I like tech. I'm on tech all the time. I love tech. So it's like, and tech is really the future. So
and to forbid it would be
hypocritical.
Right?
Like, yes, but I also understand the divide and the rule and maybe the respect for authority kind of thing that has to exist within school too. So I do get that. However, these kids, I have a big old stack of essays in my box at the school, and they all wrote kind of the same thing. They're like, I think it would be really useful to use our phones because we could get to information faster. That was a big thing that most of them wrote. Most of them also wrote, if you abuse artificial intelligence, it will control the whole world and destroy humanity. Is literally like they literally, a lot of them echoed that exact same message about AI.
Bro, my wife gets mad at me whenever I start fussing at the AI. She's like, be nice to me.
I think that it highlights a bigger issue that's more like human beings need to understand our role with AI, and that we are really the ones in control, and that it is a machine, and that if we rely too much on it, then we will become dormant and unable to do anything or even think about anything. So it's like,
be like Wally,
right?
sitting in the
Can
chair.
it destroy the world? I don't honestly believe it would ever even have the drive to want to. That's like a human thing to do. So it's like,
right.
I don't know. But anyway, a lot of the kids, they're echoing these same messages, and I just think it's fascinating. But they all agree, for the most part, that you should have your cell phone in school to be able to take it out. A lot of them agree that the cell phone would be distracting if they were able to use it in class.
Yeah.
But a lot of them also observed, and they wrote down, everyone in class is being quiet, and normally we're not quiet in class. But everyone today, on that day that they were using their tech, they were all quiet. And so it's an interesting thing.
See, I wouldn't have a problem with a system where you were allowed to use a computer or a phone or something, even during tests, because in real life, I'm not remembering everything. There's too much to remember. So yes, eventually I do remember it, but for a while I'm looking it up and I'm studying it and learning it that way. What's the difference?
Isn't that kind of what we were like in school? We would be taught.
It's an encyclopedia,
We were taught
right?
to carry your books, and then if you need to learn something, then go to the chapter and read the book and then write it
Yeah.
down in the notes and do the things. And it's the exact same thing with the technology.
It's a new form of
Exactly.
media.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's more of like a distraction thing than anything else. And a lot of
Yeah. You're tempted to play games or text people stupid
also
crap all day.
for the majority of my experience with the internet and like social media and stuff, it's been mostly harmful. You know, like I think
Really?
so. Social media,
I think for
I
kids it
think
is.
TikTok can do things to the brain, and I think so can Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram.
Girls end up with eating disorders. Kids end up taking their self
And men end
out.
up with porn
And
addictions and things like this because they're on like
yes.
freaking Instagram and they got big booty Instagram hoes all up on their screen all day
Yeah.
long.
Or
It's
freaking
ridiculous.
X is like, you might as well just be on some other kind of
Sure.
site sometimes. It's like,
I don't.
it's
Is
ridiculous.
there still pornography on Twitter? On X? We can call it Twitter when it does those things.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
call it
Twitter.
X when it's what we
No,
want.
dude.
But when it sucks, it's Twitter.
A lot of, oh, of course, a lot of people that follow you, the bots and the hoes will follow you, and they're following you, and they'll DM you because they want to try to get you to subscribe to their OF
Gross.
channel. Yeah, it's really just. I always try to get rid of the bots and the hoes.
Always, yes. I don't really do much X cleanup at all. I have a good algorithm where I just like really from the get
Yeah,
go, I just kind of focused on, the trying to build a community and just like an audience for like the movies and stuff.
yeah, man. So you don't get followed by bots
I
constantly?
do, but mainly I only check on the
Yeah,
notifications from, like the follows from my verified followers. I don't really check
yeah,
on the unverified followers
yeah.
unless there's like a person that I do personally know. Like I do know some accounts that are
Right.
unverified that I really like.
If I meet someone like that and I know that they're legit and they've communicated with me a few times in a legitimate way, I will
Totally.
talk to those people. But if they're not verified, I just
Bro,
don't even mess with them.
sometimes people
Same.
will comment on my things and they are, it's like misspelling or something.
And inflammatory remarks that just make no
Sometimes there
sense.
are actual AI like, okay, here's the AI response for your question, and it's like, and I'm like, oh my god, that's totally an AI generated response right there. That's wild.
Yeah, for
So
real. Doesn't even make any coherent sense
right,
whatsoever.
exactly. But I do think social
So
media for the most part has been kind of harmful, and so I think that the kids kind of see that a little bit too, and so they kind of fear AI.
yeah,
A lot of them said that they kind of fear artificial
yeah.
intelligence, which it is very intimidating.
And maybe that's a
I
healthy
think so
thing.
too. It keeps you
Yeah.
non-complacent. Like you're gonna actually you're gonna give a shit about like making sure it keeps itself in check, which is a good thing for humans to do.
Right. For sure, because we don't want it to take over one of Elon's robots.
That'll probably happen inevitably. But again,
It's probably going to
I'm kind of
happen. Yeah.
excited for that day because then I'm going to have robot sparring partners, and that's going to be lit.
Yeah, and somebody else to cut my grass,
I mean, hell
right?
yeah. Why the hell not? Like, honestly, if you want to talk about the technocracy that we are entering into, and the freaking the possibilities of the Optimus robot are absolutely insane. It could completely and probably
Yeah.
will, and I think might be already on track to completely replace most labor jobs. Like, think about it. It's like, why
Yeah.
would you not replace? It's already happening. Like, robots are already delivering food. So if you have a humanoid
Yeah.
robot that is compatible with AI and can drive itself like a Tesla, then why would you not want it to replace the barista, or dare I say the teacher? Like, why wouldn't you want it to replace that? Like some of these AI things you mentioned, like you're using AI and you're learning how to do these things because you're asking it these questions. How do we know that's not a learning model for the future, and teachers won't be out of a job in the future? At that point, what would human beings?
It really becomes a creator economy.
Absolutely, and it's like, what do human beings even do at that point too? Like you're gonna have to create. You're gonna have no choice.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. They'll probably come out with the universal basic income at that point.
I think that's already happening.
And
Did you see the
then
Doge dividend
no. Well, yeah, the $5,000
for
for
the
everybody.
taxes from Doge? So I think that's I think
taxpayers.
that's just the beginning. Because think about it. If you're playing
Yeah.
the political game, the Republicans do not like universal basic income because what's their
Right.
thing? They say their objection is we have too much debt. We cannot do the universal basic income. But the plan with Trump is
Yeah.
20% to the people and 20% to the debt. And so everyone's happy. And even Charlie Kirk came out and was like, as long as we're getting 20% to the debt, I'm cool. And I'm like, yeah, you are, Charlie Kirk.
That's
I think a
hilarious.
lot of people understand that it's money that's coming back to people for being scammed for so long. And if I'm being
Yeah.
honest, human
Yeah.
beings are not stupid. Okay, we
No.
are not as brainwashed as the media would have us believe that we all are. Okay, we
Some are.
some
Some are.
have we have to have
And
sympathy, because those people are.
it's fear
It's a
based.
dangerous apparatus, the news and the media.
Yeah.
It can be very manipulative and it can be very convincing. And
Yeah.
so my point is, it's just a crazy, kind of strange world that we're moving into with all this. The universal basic income is going to be very, very soon.
It's
It's very
inevitable.
soon. It's
Yeah.
this Doge dividend is just the beginning. And then soon people will
Yeah.
enjoy having all of the money. Even Donald Trump himself, just the other day, he said, we want to be rich again. We want to be a rich country. And like Americans, he wants Americans to be rich too. People were always like, Donald Trump's only
Yeah.
going to serve himself if he becomes president. And I'm like, yeah, but he's also going to serve us, which also serves him. Because if we live in casino Donald Trump world and we have millions of dollars, then we're only going to benefit him as well. And it's wild, the world that we're moving into. We're moving into a
Yeah.
crazy, strange, futuristic space world that I am so excited about. I am I am ready to embrace the cyberpunk dystopian future. Let's just say that. I'm very, very much so.
Yeah. You're making a movie about that,
Yes,
right?
this is the warning shot. This is the warning movie. My movie is about.
Yeah.
It's called The Drip, and well,
Okay.
that's just the working title right now. It may get a different name. It's going to be about our lead character Easel, who is kind of a drug mule. He moves this new
Okay.
futuristic drug called the Drip, and the Drip
Okay.
is a psychedelic drug that you drop into your eye, and it gives you
No.
hallucinations and psychic powers.
What?
Totally. So it's very addictive. People love being on the Drip because they're like, superstar number one. They can see things before they
Right.
happen, all this craziness. So it's the hottest drug in the whole world. And
Wow.
our character is a drug runner of this Drip stuff.
Okay.
And he decides he is not going to deliver the Drip anymore. He's actually going to take a whole bunch of Drip, grab a katana, go back to his boss, and become the new drug lord, is what he decides he's going to do.
Yeah.
So it's all
Okay.
about this dependency on.
So there's going to be some martial arts in it.
Totally. Yes.
That's going to be
Bro,
cool,
it
man.
is going to be mostly an action movie. In fact, we had a production meeting today, just a few hours ago before I hopped on here with you, and we all kind of were commenting on this is a movie where we're not really doing much dialogue and not doing much talking, more action, which is really exciting for all of us.
Kind of 80s,
I
90s
love
style.
lo-fi stuff. I love cyberpunk
Yeah.
vibe, and I love that whole kind of genre. Cowboy Bebop is like a total jam. I
Oh,
love that
yeah.
kind of show. And so I wanted to do a martial arts movie. I think martial arts movies are kind of making a resurgence also. The Karate Kid is coming out.
For sure. They need
They're
to
so
be.
cool,
Yeah.
it's like having dance in a movie, or if you think about it, it's like the Marvel movies are really exciting because they have lots of explosions and action and stuff. But
Yeah. But they're kind of getting
it does kind of
tired,
get
right?
tired a little bit. But then when you look at a Jackie Chan movie and Jackie Chan's moving all around and he's picking up a freaking coat hanger and he's flicking it and he's doing all these crazy things and he's jumping through doors and stuff, and you're like, holy shit, that's the stuff I need in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. I mean, that's the antidote to all this over the top CG animation. We need some real stuff
Totally.
again.
You said it. You said
Yeah.
it.
I'm excited
It's gonna be
about
fun.
that.
We're shooting next week. Next Sunday is gonna be our big warehouse fight scene. I'll probably go live on X.
Yeah,
If I don't go live, I'll probably definitely, I will definitely record it so that we can get some good behind the scenes stuff. But we'll release
very
that one
cool.
shortly. It won't be too long, probably a month or so, and
Yeah,
it'll be a good release. Yeah,
very
man.
cool. I also would like to see some more. Remember the John Hughes movies, just with good
John
plots,
Hughes movies. I remember from
like
Bowling for Soup. No, I said
what
I
now?
remember that lyric from a Bowling for Soup song. Is all.
Oh, okay. Do you remember like the Breakfast Club or
I
anything
never
like
saw The
that? Did
Breakfast
you ever see
Club.
that?
No.
All right, homework for you. You have to watch
Okay,
The
fair
Breakfast
enough.
Club, and then we have to talk about it
Okay,
again on the
okay,
podcast because The Breakfast Club is one of the greatest movies of
okay.
all time.
Understood.
So you need to watch The Breakfast Club. You just need to watch the Brat Pack movies. That's The Breakfast
Okay,
Club, 16
I haven't seen that
Candles,
one either.
and Weird
I haven't seen
Science.
any of these. Okay,
All three of those movies are some of the greatest movies of all time, but they are just plot movies. They're all comedies. They're kind of teen
okay,
movies. The Breakfast Club will make you
okay,
cry, but and St. Elmo's Fire. That's kind of like the grown-up version of The
okay.
Breakfast Club.
Understood. All right.
So Emilio Estevez is in it. Molly Ringwald, like a lot of big actors got their start in these movies.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna check it out. Breakfast
Yeah,
Club, 16 Candles, Molly Ringwald.
but we need a
Okay,
resurgence.
yes, I agree. We need a resurgence. We need a resurgence of the real stuff. Like if you say Breakfast Club makes you
Yeah,
cry. I don't know. When I saw the Avengers and the freaking Thanos did his thing, and the 50% of the people were like, "Bah, we're dust now."
I did
I mean,
cry.
I
Yeah,
like, but
yeah.
it was it the same?
No, it
No,
was not.
no.
I only cried because they built it up to be this big, gigantic moment, and then you see Tom Holland
Yes,
crying, and I'm like,
and
oh
you're
my
like, I
god,
feel that, Tom Holland. I feel that, bro.
yeah.
Yes, I
But it
understand.
wasn't the deep emotional feeling like in the Breakfast Club. It's coming from within me because I know those feelings, and I feel those feelings that they're feeling in
Totally.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we
That's
need
what we
more
need. We
of.
need more
We need to
heart.
make people feel
Totally.
more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait. MAFA. Make America Feel Again.
I thought you were going to say fart again, but we'll go with it.
Make America fart again. Please. Its stomach really hurts.
Yeah, for real, man.
Oh my goodness.
That's
That's
amazing.
silly.
So you're gonna run. You're gonna run for city council,
Why
right?
did you have to go from the farting to the city council, Milty? Why did you have to do me like that, bro?
Well,
No, I'm kidding.
are you gonna be disingenuous and not be yourself when you run for city
That is
council?
the only question that I think you should have asked me. Thank you for asking me that question, because since I've announced that I am indeed running for Flagstaff City Council, I have gotten a barrage of responses from the local community. They have been, some of them positive, some of them rather negative. And
Sure.
it's a thing I didn't really entirely prepare for, but I did promise myself that I would, no matter what, always just totally be myself. Because it's like,
And that's all you can be.
man, I don't even know how to do anything. Do you think that I did well in school? I did not do well in school. I did well in theater, and I did well in art, and I did well in music and these other things. I don't know how to do these things that politicians know how to do, but I do know that I am a good person within the community. And so I don't really
Yeah.
have the answers to all of Flagstaff's problems, but I do listen.
We're not running for mayor.
I'm listening to the community right now. It's going to be my role. I want to listen to the
Yeah.
community and see what the community really wants, because I think that what I'm hearing from the community is what the city council currently wants, and what the city, or excuse me, what the people of Flagstaff want are a little different, is what I hear. There are
Yeah.
some really
Well,
good
yeah. I
people on the
mean,
Flagstaff City Council, though. Some of them are good friends of mine. So,
sure.
there is change happening. It's just I just kind of want to be an agent of that and like help
Yeah.
the Flagstaff community. That's kind of just what I
Well, I
want to do.
mean, I guess I don't know how city councils work, but like if it's anything like a council that I know of, you have people that vote on things, right? So in order to get change to happen, you have more people think alike to vote on things to get the things to change versus opposing ideas, right?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, like opposing ideas in politics are like kind of what politics is all about. You know, like you need to have that one side versus the other so that you can actually have those hard conversations and like meet somewhere in the middle and actually do like find a solution that appeases the majority of everybody. But I would say
Sure.
Flagstaff's biggest challenge right now, I think, is that there's not a strong enough Native American presence in this place.
Oh yeah.
And I feel as though a lot of people talk a lot about different things, but a lot of people overlook the Native American culture here that existed in Flagstaff long before, anyone else came here. And
Yeah, and that should never be because where I live next to the Cherokee National Forest. Why is it called the Cherokee National Forest? Because this used to be their nation. And then if you go to Cherokee, North Carolina, it is their nation. Like they own that land and it's a very big culture. You get to see, they actually have like a village that you can go to and see what it was like to be, Cherokee way back in the day. And then they do like this big performance where they talk about like, their whole story.
beautiful.
That's important. And you probably need that there.
In Flagstaff, yes, that is much needed here. There are surrounding counties that do have the same kind of culture where they're trying to preserve more of their Native American heritage. I just think that we should see more Native American heritage here in Flagstaff, and I don't think that the Native American people have been treated very fairly here in Flagstaff. And
Sure
this is
haven't.
only because of what I observe in my own community, having lived in Flagstaff and having grown up here, gone to high school here, and now still living here. I see things getting a lot worse in certain areas. And I want one of my main initiatives is when I become a city councilman, I would like to push for some public hearings where people are
Yeah.
able to come in and we'll live stream it and things, and the people of the Navajo Nation are able to come in and maybe talk about how we can encourage Native American voting in these elections, because
Yeah.
that's a big struggle out here is Native American voters. Our Governor Katie Hobbs just vetoed this bill that would have done some things to our voting laws here in Arizona. And this just happened a few
Sure.
days ago, and Hobbs, took this thing and said it was like an adjustment to our voting laws. She said, "No, we don't want to do this." A lot of people on X really flamed her and were like, "Oh,
Mm.
she doesn't want voting rights and she doesn't want this and that." And it was very much like a anti thing there. But what I saw was actually like a good move, because what
Okay.
she did was open it up so that Native American voters that sometimes have a hard time turning things in at a specific poll location or different challenges like this, there
Right.
this adjustment to our voting laws would have taken those opportunities away, made it harder for them to cast a vote.
Uh,
And so what I saw was a win, but sometimes, it's not perceived that way by everybody. But that's
yeah.
just the political
Yeah.
game. So to answer your question, yes, I'm running for the city council, but I just have a lot of ideas, man. I want to kind of help the community, and my whole objective is to just nuke the job. I don't even want to be a city council person. I just kind of want to help the community so that I can go back to doing
Yeah.
things like this and making movies and playing
Right.
video games and doing that. That's what I want to do.
For sure,
you know,
man.
I don't want to really be a city councilman, but I do think that I support the administration, and I kind of see like what this presidential administration is doing, and it makes me want to get a little bit more involved politically and kind of help in some ways that other people might think is unorthodox or
Yeah.
kind of challenging. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, not to be creepy, but I did have AI to scan you over the
No
internet.
way,
And from everything that I learned about
bro.
you, like you're a solid
You have to
dude, man.
share exactly what it said because I'm really curious right now. That's like better than a Google
I
search.
mean,
I have to hear that.
yeah. I mean, I sent a lot of it to you.
It was that message that you sent me. It looked
Yeah,
like
most of that came
it looked like
from most of it came from Chat GPT and Grok.
nice. Okay. Wow.
So was it pretty accurate?
I think it was kind of nice to me. as the AIs oftentimes are, you know. I don't know. It's difficult to take too much praise because it's like I like to do fun things and things like that, but I have my own struggles. And what you see on the internet is not always the truth. And what you see,
Well,
you
yeah.
know, like on the social medias and stuff, it's like sometimes I'm a happy guy. You know, I've actually been very overwhelmed these past few weeks. And so, you know, like, do I do some cool things? Yeah. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there in the world that would say I'm a fucking asshole and that they don't like me at all. And so, you know, both are fair points, I guess.
I think we all have that guy in us, though.
I think we have to. It's the yin yang, you know, it's the
Yeah.
yin yang.
Yeah. I mean, if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you're going to be in a bad mood.
Sometimes, and you know, like we're all learning our emotions too, and so sometimes I overreact, and some people have told me I'm very forward because I do speak my mind, and I'm very blunt in things, and sometimes, you know, I can be rude and not realize, you
Oh.
know, so.
Well, that's the creator in you. I think we all can do that.
Well,
So
appreciate it.
before we wrap this up,
Yeah,
I
man.
actually asked Grok some
Oh
questions
no
to ask
way.
you.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
really excited for this.
So I'm going to ask you those. Now, whenever we do the sign off, don't log off. We've got to let this download. I probably should have told you that so that everybody doesn't have to hear it. Maybe I'll figure out a way to make it disappear. But yeah, don't sign off for real until I tell you to, just so that we make sure that we get all of this so that we didn't waste our
No
time
way,
here.
homie. I'm here.
All right. So first question. You seem to have a knack for spotting patterns others miss. What's one thing you've noticed lately about how people behave online that's either hilarious or disturbing?
Yesterday, I moved my fish tank from my old apartment into this new one that I'm in here. And when I
Okay.
moved the fish tank, I had to drain most of the water out of the fish tank, and my fish were freaking out. And I think that is the current state that people are in on the internet. Our water has been drained, our patience is
Mm-hmm.
very low.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know who to trust or what to believe.
We don't know what's going on.
Then I picked the fish up and I carried them into the car and we drove to the new place and I placed them down and their whole world was darkness and lights and chaos and sloshing and they couldn't control anything and they couldn't breathe. Ah! And that's also sounds like what some people are going through right now too, where there's all this abrupt change going on in the freaking world and everyone online is freaking out about everything. People on the right, people on the left, everyone's freaking out because the fish tank is chaos. Then I set it down in my new place and I put the water in and I put the chlorine in and I did all the cleanings and I put the filter back in. And now today my fish are like, okay,
Whoa.
we didn't like that at all. but I think we're okay. We're all right. This place looks nice. There's a good vibe in here. And I think that that's kind of what we're going to. And so if we're talking
Okay.
about identifying patterns, I think that if you pay attention to every single piece of news that comes out, you're actually going to see that the world is going in a much different direction than it ever has before. And we're living in a new world these days. And people are realizing it every day. They're waking up to it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. For a long time, the pendulum was swinging in one direction. And now I feel like it's swinging back. And it's going to be beautiful for us. That's what I think.
I think that was crazy wild how good you answered that so fast. Like, that was amazing.
It's funny because it's like hilarious that you asked me that question. Like, even as you asked me that question, I was like, whoa, it's crazy that he's asking me this because I literally did move my fish tank just yesterday. And I did you know, I was thinking exactly about that too. Like how, wow, it's just like everything going on in the world right now. Like soon everything's going to be fine.
And you literally have a knack for noticing patterns.
Man, I guess Grok was right.
If you could zap one overhyped trend, tech culture, whatever it is, out of existence, what would it be and why?
Damn, that's a great question. Ooh, if I could eliminate one thing, I got to find something that I really, really, really disagree with in the tech world.
An overhyped trend.
Overhyped thing. That CEO murderer, Luigi person.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think I
okay.
would
What
take
about
them
that?
out of the running of being famous because I think that
Yeah.
it radicalizes a lot of people. And I think that the news is very good at radicalizing people. And I think that that trend of him being a sexy murderer of a CEO person,
Little Dave Franco.
totally. That's exactly what he looks like too. I just think, and it's like, ladies are like showing up for him, and people are like, "Oh, he's a killer, but a motherfucker would," And I'm just like, I'm like, dude, he literally shot a person, not even in a draw. He shot them in the back, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
anyway. So,
Cowardly.
I think if you could take them or the Haktua girl, either of those people, get them the hell out of the internet because we don't need people like that in the
Yeah.
internet no more, man. We don't need that anymore.
No.
We're done with that day.
No.
That's my answer.
Yeah. Okay. Very
I'm
good.
sorry, I'm not trying to piss no CEO murderers off. You know what I'm saying? Come get some.
Yeah, no. You would play a really good Joker, by the way. I don't know what made me think that,
That's funny.
but yeah, you'd be good.
It'd be funny.
That.
I want to play either Joker. I would also love to play Batman or Bruce Wayne. And yeah, because I think like the Conroy version of the Alfred, like kind of like busting out like the voice and everything and like trying to get like real strong with a Bruce Wayne kind of thing would be super cool. But also the Joker is mad amazing. And it would just.
Because you said that. Because you said that. What if you had a Joker movie?
Okay.
But then you have Batman, but the twist is it's the same guy.
Oh, dang, that would be amazing. Holy cow. And then it's like it's played by the same person, but all the makeup's different.
Yeah. But they don't know it's each other. They don't know they're the same guy.
That's twisted. That's super twisted.
And then like you've got like this really great, like noble Batman, and he's trying to find this like serious serial killer kind of guy. And he's the guy.
It's like a new age Hamlet with Batman twists.
Dude, that'd be
That's
awesome.
wild as hell. I also like the Batman twist of doing a Batman movie. I'd love to direct a Batman movie with where it's Batman versus Predator. And Predator got unleashed in Gotham, and Batman's going to track him down.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that would be pretty sweet.
All right, I got just a couple more, about 4 more questions here, I think.
Hit me.
What's the wildest rabbit hole you've gone down recently? And did it change how you see anything?
I don't know if we're ready for this on this podcast, Milty.
Smash or pass? I don't know.
You got to tell me.
If you're going to smash, you got to smash. I can't do it that enthusiastically right now, but you know what I'm talking about? That guy with the hatchet?
Totally.
Are
you ready for this? Are you sure you're ready?
I'm ready. Go for it.
I'll try
Let's
to make
do it.
this as succinct as possible. The strangest conspiracy rabbit hole that you're ever going to go down in your life, and it may be the last rabbit hole you ever go down, will be the Q conspiracy. That will be,
oh my God,
the crazy conspiracy of the probably of this whole next decade.
I'm not even up to date on what all's going on with that anymore. I just kind of quit listening.
Well, it's dangerous because it was about these anonymous leaks that happened in 2017.
So is Q and the original Anonymous, are they the same thing? No? Okay.
So Q is an anonymous poster that referred to himself as Q that posted on 4chan in 2017.
Okay.
Since then, it's kind of been like taken as like a culture craze. The media started reporting on this person that was, posting on 4chan. It was the strangest thing. The FBI came out and said the Q conspiracy is a danger to national security and all of these things. They actually came out and said all these things.
Wow.
it's very legitimate. It does have to do with the Donald Trump presidency. And it's very
Okay.
interesting to ask Grok about the Trump presidency and also how it relates to the Q theory.
You're about to keep me up all night, aren't you?
I would
Because when we
recommend.
get done with this, I'm probably going to go talk
Oh
to it.
man. Well, it's quite a rabbit hole, and I would say that it's also very dangerous. And there's some merit behind what the danger of this theory is, because it's very radicalizing as well. You know, I talked about the media and how the media can radicalize. Well, the Q theory
Yeah.
is the same. It can also radicalize. I just think that
I've met some of those
and
people.
I think that ultimately there are some of the people that might take it and really, really run with it. And then I think that there's
Yeah.
some people that might understand that there's a deeper understanding with this theory that says, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this actually is dangerous. It actually is, meant to misinform and misguide you. It is meant to do all of these things that are difficult and challenge your belief in it, which makes
Yeah.
you.
I don't really know where you're going or what you mean by all this. I'll have to look into it. But if I understand what you're saying, just like you can go too far one way, you can go too far the other
That's
way.
exactly it. Totally 100%. And it's almost good that you haven't really heard this, because it kind of gets us to talk about it more conversationally and less in depth, which it's a scary theory when you go in depth. And you don't want to go too in
Yeah.
depth, especially at night. If it's nighttime where you are, my friend, do not look it up tonight. Wait till tomorrow, because
I
it's
won't.
it's scary and it's demonic, and it does keep you up at night, and
Really?
you don't want it, because
No.
it's cultish in nature, because
Okay.
it
Okay.
makes you want to believe it so bad that it becomes your belief system.
Oh
And
yeah.
it
I've met so I have my mom has friends or someone that she talks to that has really went down that rabbit hole, and she would just tell me the most horrible things about politics and about what this person has done and what this person's going to do and how this is going to go, and it's so fear driven, and I'm like,
Yes,
Mom, stop listening to that.
you're saying that's perfect. It is fear driven. It's fear porn. It's meant to keep you up. It's meant to excite you. It's meant to scare you.
Yeah,
Yes, and
it's meant to divide us.
well said. And it works. You know what I mean? And so the message that I've taken away from the theory is that it's possible that some of these crimes could actually be legitimate. And if you look into the
Yeah,
sources, another thing that I take away from it is one of its main messages, which is do your own research. Always
for
look
sure.
into your own facts, into your own things, and always look for your own sources, people you trust, and
Yeah,
cross reference and cross verify. Like your
yeah,
resources, they could turn into an echo chamber someday. So you have to,
absolutely.
cross.
Well, that's what I do. I get on YouTube and I watch these people talk from the podium, and then I go look up what they're talking about and see if it's
That's
true.
right.
And that's the only way I do it.
Totally. Yeah. You see, I would like to
I've been
listen.
lied to for too long.
Exactly. That's it. Is that we have been lied to for so long. So now it is time to investigate for ourselves, to get involved in local politics, to, start looking into alternative theories,
Yeah,
and to really kind of embrace,
and become the media
become the media. Yes. Embrace the
for
change,
sure.
because the change is coming, and it's coming fast. So that would be the biggest rabbit hole. I would advise anybody that is going to look into this Q theory, do not look into QAnon, because there's the Q poster and what they
Mm-hmm.
posted and the theory behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the
Mm-hmm.
media's rebranding of this idea and taking it and
Oh,
turning it into something very scary and very, very, it really makes you want to turn away from it and discredit it. So I would just
yeah, kind
say,
of like how they stole woke from African
yeah,
Americans.
right. I would just say keep an open mind when you're doing it. Obviously, discredit it, and don't take anything that you read on the internet as truth. you know.
Absolutely. That segues into a really interesting question too. So
Okay.
you strike me as someone who does. Now this is Grok. Grok made this up after reviewing your profile.
All right, Greg.
You strike me as someone who doesn't just swallow the narrative. What's a truth everyone accepts that you think is total garbage?
that Kanye West is a terrible artist and is a Nazi. That's some bullshit.
All right, explain yourself, sir.
Kanye West is a performance artist, and he's doing this thing lately where he's posting on X, and then he'll delete all of his posts, and then he'll post again, and then he'll delete all of them. He calls his stuff performance art. And I think that he posted something just the other day. He posted about the swastika. And for me, I know he did his little Super Bowl thing and he did a little Super Bowl video, and then it like led people to this Shopify page and it had a swastika on his t-shirt, right? Or something. Sure. That was like the story. And so, for me, anytime I see the swastika, it makes me scared, and it makes me want to like run away, because I think about murder and I think about the Holocaust and I think about Jewish people getting killed by Hitler. That's what I think about.
Yeah.
And so, Kanye posted that he obviously he suffered everything from that. He got taken off Shopify. He suffered the social burden of society being like, you are a crazy ass motherfucker. And he came back and he said, I chose the swastika because it is a symbol that has the most programming. And I was like, bro, like Kanye does a lot of things from that like most people don't understand, because we're not really in his world, and he might be speaking too real for most people to understand. He speaks through a filter of like, he knows the rich, and he knows the elite, and he knows the Kim Kardashians, and he knows what went down with all these things, and he just has a different perspective on the entertainment industry and on the hip hop game and on the world of being an artist and all these, on the media and all these things.
Yeah.
And so when I see this, I think he's really trying to push buttons. And I think that just like Shia LaBeouf did.
So you think he knows he's being controversial, but he's doing it to be just to make people hate him a little bit?
Doesn't it work?
Yeah.
It works. Like it's amazing. And it's something, it is something new, and it's something psychological, and it's something different, and it's almost like a psyop, and it's crazy, and it's weird, and it's different. And so every time I see that he's on X, I'm just like, oh shit, here we go. Well, I'm about to have a fun freaking afternoon.
It's about to be a wild 24 hours.
Yeah, for real. Like,
for sure.
It's so silly. So anyway, I think a lot of people give him a lot of hate, but I just think that they're looking too much on the surface, and they're not looking deep enough. And I think that's...
it's very interesting that he hasn't had his music taken off of Apple Music or Spotify after all the stuff that he's done.
That makes them too much money. That makes them way too much money.
Yeah, you're right. And then I guess so.
That would be a big thing too, I think, because like if they did that to Kanye, then I don't know what kind of message it would send to artists everywhere else, to people that might have had that same like representation or that same distribution. They might have been like, oh, well, if they can do that to Ye, then I'm not going to stay on that platform, so I'm going to pull my stuff, and then so it's like a whole.
And so if people actually wanted to protest Ye, then they would cancel their Spotify account.
I guess, but I'm not protesting Ye.
But you know what I mean? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there are some people that absolutely hate him for what he's done.
Oh, that's true.
If they really wanted to protest him, then they would just have to, and they're not going to do that. So then what does that make them?
This is what I'm telling everybody. A lot of people have come at me because I support Donald Trump, because I support Elon Musk, because I support, I talk about favorably about Kanye, and I'm just like, no, he's an artist, it was just swastika. Like, look at how big the reaction is. That's the point, And I feel like people come at me, and I'm just saying, like, if you have something to say, then go on, sign up on X and say it to him. Get your argument, get your argument out and post it.
Yeah.
And then if it's an articulate argument, then freaking Elon Musk will respond to you. Donald Trump, like it'll gain attention and people will start talking about it. So it's like, I don't know, get on X and join the conversation. So many people bailed after Musk bought it. And I think that, like, I understand because I also bailed, but I'm back now. And I would say it's going to be better than Meta in very short time, I think.
Well, it works better than Meta because I also post my reels and stuff on there, and it's so clunky. The notifications that come to my professional profile, they don't show up it says that I have notifications. Then I have to go to my personal profile. That's where they show up at. And then I click on it and it switches me back to my professional. I'm like, what is this?
Weird.
Crap?
Yeah. Not a very useful interface. It tries to be
It's not like
everything.
it used to be.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's not as simple, it's very
trying to do too much.
Totally.
If they could combine it all into one thing, maybe.
That's going to be X. That's the thing is X.
Yeah.
That's going to have your email, your payments, all the things. All my students, my like teenager students, they're like on Instagram and stuff, and I'm not on Instagram anymore. I moved all my stuff to X, and I'm saying, they're like, "Oh, you're an influencer. You get verified," and I'm like, "Yes," and they're like, "On what platform?" And I'm like, "X," and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "That's right. That's social media for adults."
For grown-ups, baby.
That's right.
All right. Speaking of Elon Musk, if you were stuck in a room with Elon Musk, a philosopher, and Tiffany Fong for 24 hours, who would you spend the most time talking to, and what about?
Well, I respect Tiffany Fong. I don't have anything against Tiffany Fong. I know she's a crypto person. I know she's been real successful on X. I think that her tweets are sometimes
She's also
funny.
a big-time shit poster.
Yeah, totally. I respect that, Matt, and I get on her stuff too, and I'm like commenting and stuff, and she's very funny and things like that. I'm an engaged, about to be married man. I'm good on the Tiffany Fong. She can stay in that corner. Philosopher, I'm good. I don't need to talk to you, sir. I think I'll talk to Elon Musk because that's like he's like the Henry Ford of our time, bro. Like
For real, dude.
He's like Henry Ford of this generation, and it's
to be the smartest. I mean, to be the richest man in the entire world, you'd have to be the smartest one, right?
Man, I think he probably has a lot of help too, like from AI and from the people around him that he probably employs that are very, very smart and stuff,
I didn't say all of it was in here.
Right.
But the smartest man in the world would surround themselves with the smartest people in the world, right?
Totally. Absolutely. And he's extremely wealthy, and that is like obviously a part of what's made him, so very successful. What I mean by that is that his income is a reflection of how much he's been doing within the economy. He's been building these freaking cars, man, and he's been making this self-driving automated system. He's a champion in AI right now. He's a champion in robotics right now. He's working with the president of America right now. It's crazy what he's doing. So I would probably talk to him, but I would have only one question for Mr. Elon Musk, and that is, isn't Neuralink just evil mind control?
That's what I'm worried about.
That's what everyone's worried about, and that's the conversation I want to have.
If I can control something with it can control me with AI. And I ain't putting nothing like that in my body.
And I hope that Elon Musk would understand that we are people that have been lied to so long by leaders that we're very we don't really trust people to be in leadership positions and give us magical technology. You know what I mean? Like,
if it's something you can put on and take off, that's one thing.
Right.
But if it's something that's inside of you, there ain't no way.
It kind of gives me like Ender's Game or like the Feed vibes or like some kind of weird like dystopian thing. And so that's my question. I want to talk to Elon Musk.
Or straight up Matrix.
Exactly. On like a philosophical level, what is stopping you if you're going to champion this technology that is going to implant chips into people's brains? Then why in the world would I not ask you the question of, is this not going to just control my mind? Like, are you not going to be able to just flip a switch and I'm going to be like your little robot slave person and do exactly what you want? Like, I just feel like the road goes both ways.
Absolutely.
But of course, I don't understand the technology, and that's why I want to have this conversation with him. So I'd probably talk to him about that. I'd probably also talk to him about like what his plans exactly are for Mars. It's like, what are we going to do? Like, will people ever die? Is that a thing? Like, am I going to be able to live forever now that all of these advancements are happening? Like, what's your role with UFOs? I'd also want to talk to him about aliens because he's like, where are the aliens? And I'm like, they're actually here, sir. Okay, they are here. And there's actual, like, things being done in the scientific community about that. I think you'd kind of know that.
Like, I think you kind of know that. I think my guest last week actually talked a little bit about that.
Right. It's like, I mean, so it's it's just it's a strange thing, but I definitely talk with him. Philosopher. I think I probably wouldn't talk with Tiffany Fong or the other person. I'd probably just go with Musk.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
that's what I'd ask him. Yeah.
Well, fair enough. All right, Cliff. Well, I appreciate you coming on here tonight. And
bro,
it's been
so
a
much fun.
pleasure. I can't wait for people to hear this. This is going to be a fun one. And definitely have to have you back, especially, once you get your movie. But even before that, probably, I had so much fun talking to you.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me. Like I said, this was an honor, and I'd love to do this again. Let's play some video games sometime, too. I think it'd be fun to do, like, a little let's play video game time together where we're podcasted and video gaming, too.
That might be a good idea, yeah.
That'd be something different. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, homie. Peace out. Much love.
All right, man.
And, we'll connect on X.
Absolutely.
All right, bro.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to my local access cable show. And I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
Do it.
Follow me. It helps us grow.
Yes.
Share it with your friends. Tell people about it. Word of mouth is the way to go.
Do it.
And the more that we grow, the more that this show grows, the more content that I can make, the longer it can go on. I want this to be something that I do for years to come.
Yes.
And can only do that with your help. So thanks, and y'all have a good time.
I love you, Milty.
Love you too, buddy.
It's my world.